When my stepchildren mocked me in front of the family counselor, I shut down their accounts mid-session. They walked out quietly, without Wi-Fi. My name's Tom Brady, yeah, like the quarterback, but with less money and more bills. I'm 43, a network engineer, 2 decades into the trade, and I still work nights when outages hit. I troubleshoot fiber lines while half the world sleeps. I keep systems alive. I solve problems. That's what I thought I was doing when I married Casey. Solving a problem. She had 2 kids, Seth and Haley. Teenagers. I had Zach, 9 years old at the time, from my first marriage. His mother moved to Arizona and left me full custody. Said she wasn't built for motherhood. So when I met Casey, smiling, tired, charming in that coffee-stained way women get after a decade of single parenting, I thought, this is it. A second chance. 2 incomplete lives folding into one. That's what it was supposed to be. It started well enough. Dinners around a new table. A blended Christmas. Seth didn't say much, but I chalked that up to being 16 and hormonal. Haley was more expressive, sharp-tongued, but at least she talked. Zach tried hard, God help him. He followed Seth like a shadow, mimicked his gestures, asked to play the same games. I watched it unfold and thought, it'll even out. Didn't. We moved into Casey's house, her place from the divorce. 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. Tight but manageable. I offered to co-sign the refinance. She said no. It's still in my name, Tom. Let's keep it simple. I should have known then. Should have heard the line in that logic. Yours, not ours. But I wanted to be the provider. So I covered utilities. Internet. Gas. Groceries. When the washer broke, I bought a new one. When her car needed tires, I paid. When Seth turned 17, he started using my SUV. It's just temporary, Casey said. Until he saves for his own. Temporary stretched 6 months. Every Sunday morning I'd find the gas light on. Empty. No note. No thanks. Zach asked once why Seth got to drive my car. I told him we share in families. That it was important to give. His eyes dropped. Even when they don't give back? I said, especially then. I regret that now. Haley was no different. She used my Amazon account for makeup, clothes, jewelry. Things she never asked for. Things I never authorized. I'd get shipping notifications at work. Lip plumper set, $38.99. Stretch denim jacket, $49.99. I brought it up to Casey. She laughed. She's a teenage girl, Tom. You want her to look nice, don't you? I want her to ask, I said. Casey shrugged, rinsed a plate, walked away. There were always these small dismissals, these tiny withdrawals from my dignity, death by 1,000 shrugs. And Zach, he stayed polite, always last to the fridge, always careful not to leave his shoes out. Once, he left his drawing pad on the couch. Haley tossed it into the laundry basket. Didn't even look. It's in the way, she said. When I confronted her, she said, it's not my fault your kid draws like a preschooler. Casey told her to apologize. She rolled her eyes and said, sorry, I guess. That was it. Like spitting at a priest, then handing him a tissue. Still, I stayed the course. I told myself, this is what stepfathers do. You don't expect a parade. You don't expect instant love. You build, brick by brick. But there's a difference between building and bleeding. The therapy was Casey's idea. Family counseling. To help everyone adjust, she said. So we sat in that beige office, week after week, across from a woman named Jean with framed degrees and neutral sweaters. Jean asked about our routines, our boundaries, our roles. Every question landed on me like a quiz I didn't know I was taking. Do you feel heard, Tom? Sometimes, I said, but I keep showing up. And then came the moment. That moment that broke the surface. It was our 6th session. Seth leaned back in the chair, arms crossed. Jean asked about discipline, boundaries. Seth smirked. Why does he even talk? He said. He pays for everything anyway. I stared at him, waiting for a laugh, for a wink, something. But there was nothing. Just that smirk, casual, permanent. Then Haley chimed in. He's the reason the Wi-Fi crashes. If he's gonna pay for it, at least get the good kind. Jean tried to redirect. That's not constructive. But I didn't hear her. I heard the silence. Casey, right beside me. Not a word. Not a glance. She didn't correct them. Didn't flinch. She didn't even look embarrassed. Just stared at the floor like a student waiting for the bell to ring. That's when I understood. This wasn't immaturity. This wasn't friction. This wasn't adjustment. This was training. This was learned behavior. This was strategy. They knew exactly how far they could go. How much venom they could bleed into a sentence. How tight they could pull the leash around my neck. And Casey would say nothing. She'd let it happen. Over and over. I was the wallet, the labor, the infrastructure, and they treated me accordingly. Later that night, after Zach went to bed, I sat in the garage. Lights off. Just the soft glow of my phone screen. I opened my budgeting app. Filtered by household expenses. I saw 3 years of history, nearly $82,000. Streaming, groceries, gas, clothes, repairs, phone bills. I scrolled and scrolled, month after month. Hundreds of transactions, all flowing in one direction. Zach had asked me once, when we were building a model of the solar system, do stars ever get tired? I said, sure. Even stars burn out. Sitting in that garage, I realized I was the star in this house, burning, alone, surrounded by people who only noticed the light, never the cost. And something shifted in me. Question rose sharp and honest. What if they never loved me? What if they just needed a provider? What if I've been building a house that only served as their shelter, never as my home? I never raised my voice in that house. Not once. I thought restraint would earn me trust, that calm would pass as strength, that measured silence was proof of maturity. But they mistook it for weakness, for vacancy. That's the problem with living in a house that isn't yours. People assume you can be replaced. 3 days after that therapy session, Zach and I were in the living room. He had a science project due, build a 3D model of an animal cell. We were using foam balls, toothpicks, food coloring. He was laughing, focused. I hadn't seen him that excited in weeks. Then Haley walked in. She had a friend with her, tall, tanned, phone in hand. They stopped in the doorway, glanced at our project, and Haley scoffed. Wow, she said, her voice sharp with cruelty. Science fair for toddlers? Her friend laughed. Zach's hands paused. He looked at me, then back at the nucleus he was painting. Don't worry, I said. You're doing great. Haley walked past him, bumped the table on purpose. His mitochondria model fell off. She didn't look back. Her friend raised her phone, whispered something, and laughed again. Then Seth strolled in. Phone already out. Filming. Not even worth posting, he muttered, but aimed the camera anyway. He zoomed in on Zach's face. This your big contribution, champ? I stood up, walked over, took the phone from Seth's hand. Calmly, no rush, no words. I scrolled through the gallery, deleted the clip, handed it back. He stared at me, lips parting. I didn't wait. I turned, walked into the kitchen, poured water from the fridge, drank slowly. My silence said everything. I wasn't a threat. I was a verdict. That night, Zach didn't want to finish the model. Said it looked dumb. He went to bed early. I stared at the table for a long time. The nucleus was cracked from the fall. So I stayed up, fixed it, repainted the membrane, reattached the mitochondria, glued everything steady. Not because the school would care, but because Zach would know someone did. Next day was therapy. Same beige room, same chairs. Jean opened with her usual. How's everyone feeling today? Seth leaned back, said nothing. Haley had earbuds in, one out, one dangling. Casey smiled politely. We've had a few tense moments. Jean nodded. That's normal. It's part of blending. I reached into my jacket, pulled out my phone, opened my banking app. No one noticed. Sometimes, Jean said, teens push back to see who's really committed. I tapped. Removed both Haley and Seth from my credit cards. Clicked pause all on the streaming services. Disabled the gas card. Haley looked up. The Wi-Fi's down, she muttered, checking her phone. I tapped again. New password. Private network. Seth shifted. What's going on? I didn't answer. Not to them. I looked at Jean. I'm done. She blinked. Done with? With sponsoring this audition. I'm not here to prove I belong. I've belonged. I've shown up. Now I'm showing out. Haley scowled. Seth stood. What did you do? I sipped my coffee. What you taught me to do. I listened. He glared. You can't just shut everything off. I smiled tight. Watch me. They left. Stormed out like it was their house and someone had changed the locks. Casey stayed. Frozen. Jean looked uncomfortable. Tom. I understand the frustration. No, Jean, I said. You understand theory. I understand cost. They want their biological dad's authority with my checkbook. I've been both ghost and ATM. I'm tired. Casey spoke finally. That's a lot to do without talking to me. I've been talking for 3 years, I said. This is the first time they listened. That night, Zach and I ate pasta. No phones. No background noise. Just quiet. He smiled once. It didn't last long. But it was real. After dinner, he showed me his finished model. Said a kid in class offered to trade projects. His was that good. I told him I was proud. That I'd always be proud. That night, I slept with the window open. Cool air. No stomping upstairs. No slamming bathroom doors. Just quiet. In the morning, Seth tried to start the SUV. Wouldn't turn. I'd already pulled the spare key. Disconnected the Bluetooth access. Haley banged on her door. Mom, I need my Prime login. No one answered. She screamed. Slammed her room shut. Casey stayed in bed that morning. She didn't come down for coffee. Didn't look me in the eye for 2 days. She was recalculating. Redefining the math of convenience. Of comfort. I noticed. On day 3, Seth packed a duffel. Said nothing. Slammed the front door like punctuation. He moved in with a friend across town. Haley cried that night. Said her Spotify playlist was gone. Said I ruined her algorithm. I kept cleaning the dishes. Didn't speak. Didn't smile. Didn't gloat. Just did the work. The real work. By day 5, Zach asked if we could go to the park. Just us. He brought a soccer ball. Kicked it off his shins. Laughed like he used to. I watched him run. And it hit me like a cold wind. He was waiting for me to choose him. All these years. All the silence. He had been waiting. When we got home, Casey was in the kitchen. Bills on the counter. Calculator in hand. Her eyes flicked up. She looked at Zach. Then me. She didn't say thank you. Didn't say sorry. Just said, we need to talk. I nodded. We do. But not now. She blinked. Why not now? I looked at Zach. He was rinsing his hands at the sink. Because he comes first. She didn't respond. Didn't need to. She knew what that meant. The balance had shifted. And I wasn't apologizing for it anymore. 3 days. That's how long it took before the silence broke. Seth's room sat dark. Empty hangers on the floor, drawers left open. A can of energy drink tipped on the desk, sticky and half-spilled. The kind of departure that doesn't plan to return. Casey stood in the hallway that first morning, staring into the room like it was a crime scene. She didn't say his name, didn't call him, just closed the door slowly, like she was trying to trap the past behind it. Haley fared worse. She tried to log into Netflix, nothing. Then Spotify, nothing. Then Amazon, password rejected. The panic hit fast. She rattled the router, restarted her phone, screamed upstairs that the Wi-Fi was possessed. When she came downstairs, eyes puffy, voice shrill, she went straight to Casey. You have to talk to him. This is messed up. Casey looked at her daughter like she was a stranger. Talk to him about what? The Wi-Fi. The Prime. My playlists. I lost everything. I don't pay for those, Casey said softly. You know that. Haley's face twisted. So you're just gonna let him do this? I don't own those accounts, Haley. Then Haley turned to me. I was in the kitchen pouring coffee. Calm. This is abuse, she snapped. You can't just take away everything. I sipped. I didn't take anything. I ended donations. Her voice cracked. I have school. I need internet. You'll have to ask your mom. Or your real dad. Casey flinched. That night, they didn't eat dinner. Haley locked herself in her room. Casey sat in the living room with her laptop open and didn't type a single word. She just stared at the screen, as if somewhere in the cursor's blink, there'd be an answer. There wasn't. Day 5, Zach came to me, quiet, like always. We still going to the planetarium this weekend? He asked. I looked at him. Do you want to? He nodded fast. Yeah, just us. I smiled. Then yeah, just us. Later that evening, as I folded laundry, Zach stood in the doorway. Can I tell you something? Always, I said. He looked down at his socks, then back up. Haley said we're not really part of this family. That will be gone soon anyway. My hands stopped moving. What did she mean? He shrugged. I don't know. She just said it like it was already decided. I set the clothes down, walked to him, kneeled. Zach, listen to me. You and me, that's permanent. No matter what anyone else says. Okay. He nodded, didn't speak, but his eyes were wet. I went to Casey that night, asked her point blank. Did you know she said that to him? Her eyes flicked sideways. They're just adjusting. After 3 years? They're kids, Tom. No, they're not. They're actors. And you're the stagehand. She bristled. That's not fair. What's not fair is my son being told he doesn't belong while I pay for the roof that holds your silence. She crossed her arms. You're blowing this out of proportion. I stood there for a long moment, just looking at her. Then maybe it's time we live in separate proportions. I walked into Zach's room, packed 2 bags. Essentials. Socks. Chargers. His telescope. He looked confused, but he didn't ask why. Where are we going? He said. Somewhere we're respected. I answered. We left before midnight. No fight. No screams. Just a note on the kitchen counter. Keep the house. I'm reclaiming my peace. The apartment wasn't fancy. 2 bedrooms. Thin walls. No yard. But it was ours. No one banged on doors. No one rolled their eyes at dinner. Zach picked the first movie we watched. He chose the groceries. He helped build the IKEA furniture even when it took twice as long. He slept better. I did too. 3 days in, I got a text from Casey. Can we talk? I didn't reply. Day 5, she sent another. We need help. Then a voicemail. Her voice cracked halfway through. I didn't know it had gotten that bad. I thought we could fix it. Just call me back, please. I didn't. Zach and I spent the weekend at the planetarium. He asked 100 questions. Took notes. Drew diagrams on the back of the program. On the ride home, he looked out the window. Feels weird not going back to the old house, he said. Yeah, I said. But sometimes weird is better than wrong. Casey showed up at my job 2 days later. No call. No warning. Just walked in with that look. Panic hiding behind pride. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't serious. I nodded. Waited. Seth's staying with a dropout. They barely have food. He's falling behind. And Haley, she's failing math. She barely gets out of bed. They need help, Tom. I looked at her. I gave help. For 3 years. While they burned it in front of me. Please, she said. Just until we're back on our feet. I pulled out my phone. Opened my banking app. Scrolled to the household tag. Held it up. 82,000, Casey. That's what I gave. That wasn't help. That was everything. Her lips trembled. I didn't ask you to keep track. No, I said. But you never asked them to show gratitude either. She looked away. So this is it? You're just done? I was done the second you watched Zach get humiliated and said nothing. She started to cry. I stood there, arms crossed, because I'd cried too. Alone. Too many times. I walked her to the door. Held it open. She didn't move. You can't just abandon them, she said. I didn't. I stopped financing them. That's cruel. No. Cruel is calling a man not dad while spending his money. She left. Didn't look back. That night, Zach asked if we could paint his room. I said yes. He chose dark blue, like space. I helped him tape the corners, lay down the tarp, dip the roller. Halfway through, he looked at me. You're the only one who ever shows up. I nodded. That's the job, I said. No, he replied. That's love. The next morning, I got another voicemail. This one was from Seth. You made your point. Whatever. But some stuff's bigger than pride, man. You were supposed to be an adult. I deleted it. They thought I walked away to make a statement. They didn't understand. I walked away to stop bleeding. We painted the walls dark blue. Zach's idea. He said it felt like space, open, quiet, endless. To fit. After we moved out, I made him a promise. No more raised voices. No more walking on eggshells. No more asking permission to exist. Just peace. He didn't say much, but I saw it in his posture. The way his shoulders finally dropped. The way he left his bedroom door open at night. That's how you know a child feels safe. When they stop needing barriers. Our apartment was small, but it was clean. 2 bedrooms. No yard. But the silence? It was gold. Took me days to realize how much I had been clenching. My jaw. My stomach. My chest. Even sleep felt like a negotiation back in that house. 5 hours on a good night, interrupted by slammed doors and loud music. Now I slept like the dead. So did Zach. He joined the chess club at school. First new thing he'd tried in years. Said a kid named Marvin taught him a gambit where you sacrifice your queen early. Why would anyone do that? I asked. He said, to win in the long run. I nodded. I understood. At night, we cooked simple meals. Boxed pasta. Chicken with too much garlic. We made mistakes. Burnt rice. Soggy vegetables. But we ate at the table, facing each other. No phones. No background shows. Just 2 humans building something small but solid. Then the calls started again. First it was Casey. Voicemail. Hey, it's me. Just wondering if we can talk. Seth came home today just for dinner. And he asked about you. I think he misses you. I didn't respond. 2 days later, another one. Things are harder than I thought. Rent's overdue. Haley's school is talking about intervention. I'm trying, Tom. I really am. I didn't think you'd really walk away. She didn't know. I hadn't walked away. I had stepped into something better. Zach saw her number flash on my phone once. I watched him clock it, then look away. He didn't ask. Then came the visit. Casey showed up at my job. Same outfit she wore when we first met. Navy blouse, silver earrings, like muscle memory could undo betrayal. She waited in the lobby. I stepped out. Didn't sit. Just folded my arms. Tom, she said. I need a loan. I blinked. Excuse me? Just something small. Just enough to cover a few bills. Groceries. I'll pay it back. I pulled out my phone. Opened the banking app. Flipped to the household tag. Showed her the total. $82,137.44. That's what I'd spent in 3 years. Groceries. Gas. Phone bills. Birthdays. Tuition. Streaming services. New tires. Old promises. My fingerprint was on everything, except the hearts that lived there. She stared at the screen. That's not a loan, I said. That's what I already gave. And I'm done. Her face collapsed. They're your family. No, I said. They're yours. I walked away. She didn't follow. That weekend, Zach and I found an old telescope at a yard sale. Paid $15. Spent an hour cleaning the lens, tightening the screws. That night, we pointed it at the sky from the parking lot. There's Jupiter, I said. He looked through the eyepiece. It's smaller than I thought. Perspective, I said. Even giants shrink at the right distance. He smiled. I like that. On Monday, Seth called. I let it ring. Then came the text. I need help, man. Just to get through the semester. You can't just bail. I stared at the words for a long time. then replied, "You said I wasn't part of your family. You were right." No reply. Haley tried next. Sent a video. Crying. Said she missed the way things were. Missed our shows. Said she didn't mean what she said about Zach. Said she was just mad. I didn't reply, because I wasn't the man they missed. They missed the service I provided. And Casey? She tried once more. Showed up at the apartment. Zach opened the door. Froze. Looked at me. I stepped in front of him. "What are you doing here?" "I just wanted to talk. To see him. To fix things." "Now you want to fix it?" Tears. "I made mistakes." "No. You made choices. Mistakes are accidents. You watched it happen." "I thought they'd come around." "They did. They came around my wallet. Never my worth." She reached out. I stepped back. "I loved you," she whispered. "No," I said. "You used me. Then you covered it in silence and called it peace." She left. Didn't knock again. Weeks passed. Zach got a certificate for Most Improved in Science. He beamed when he showed me. I took him to Denny's to celebrate. Pancakes at 9 at night. We laughed over spilled syrup. That's what fatherhood is. Not blood. Not titles. Not demands. It's presence. It's dignity. It's showing up, even when it's not reciprocated. One night, Zach asked, "Will you ever go back?" "To the house. To them." I thought for a long time. "No," I said, "because they got what they wanted, independence." He nodded. Didn't press. Because he understood what most adults don't. When someone tells you what you're worth, believe them. And when they keep telling you, stop paying the bill.